what matters most in life is to realize your biggest mistake in life, which is that you don't know who you are. What is your identity? And your biggest failure in your life comes from identifying with something you are not. Everything else comes from that. All the struggling with life or struggling in life comes from that. Everything. It's got very, very dire consequences. All the unease, all the unhappiness, all the disturbances, all the anxiety, all the frenzy, all the paranoia, all the depressions, all the addictions, everything. If we just knew, if we just lived in a society that knew, because we do live in a society where the mainstream is pushing away from the right identification. It's pushing us towards identifying with what we are not. And this is our biggest problem. This is the biggest lie. This is the biggest mistake in our life, the biggest failure. Of course, it can be all corrected. It can be all done differently. Especially important when we do it from a very young age. But even at any time while we are still alive in this physical realm of one lifetime, while we are still here, functioning in this physical reality that we perceive, we can do it, still do it. So let's just get on to it. And here on How to Life, I share with you the knowledge and skills of how to create the life you want, the best possible experience of life where you will do the things in accordance to the life inside you, where you will identify with what is actually you. So what is it? And what is it not? Who do you identify with nowadays? You identify with this piece of meat, a piece of brain, and then you go even more and you limit this piece of meat even more. You give it a certain gender, you give it a certain nationality, you give it a certain family origin, country origin, even a region or a village or a town, a football club that you're part of, that you support, profession. All these limitations that you identify with, you see, a mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. It's all going nowhere. It's just all going into disturbance, unease, self-destruction of the physical reality that you are, that you perceive, and the world that you live in, that we all live in. It's all going in the wrong direction. It's all going away from who we really are. And you see, the more and more we identify with all these different sort of personas, as I'm this, I'm that, I'm this profession, I'm this family, I'm this nationality, I'm this gender, I'm this family, I'm this. We become so limited. We box ourselves so much in a corner that there is no space left for life. Nothing. There is just this prison of identification with everything physical that we are not. Because you see, what is physical is a body and a mind. The mind is physical, the same as the body. If there is no mind, there is no body, vice versa. If there is no brain, there is no mind, there is no body, there is no perception of anything that's unreal. And now, today, we sort of identify with this piece of meat, and we identify with these foods that are a product of our brain that are just generic, you know what I mean? They're just impressions of whatever is outside us, of our environment, of our past, of our present, there is a collective memory of the collective past in the brain, and so on, and it's all just being recycled all the time. We are all in our mind, recycling the same thoughts, and then we get caught in these thoughts, and then if we think something, we think that that's who we are. We identify with that, and we just box ourselves into this tiny, tiny little physical space where there is no freedom. There is just anxiety and depression, and whatever we do, no matter how much we strive and trying to achieve and trying to, box ourselves out of it somehow, it's just not succeeding. It's not working. Because what do we need to know from the start? If we didn't know it from the start, any time is a good time to learn. And if you have kids, teach them that. You are not this shell, you are not this, you are the life. The life that enters when you are in the womb and leaves the body around the time of your death. And that life, that energy, whatever you call it, is not limited. It is completely unlimited and is the same. Everything around you that you perceive is the same as what you are and what you have inside here. And this is your only identification that you should ever have. This is the only true life that you should ever identify with. It's unlimited, it's everywhere, and everything is the same. And it can be perceived in reality as is with the inner senses, with the inner eye, not with the outward senses, not with the 5 senses that your body has, that your system has. But even if you don't go that far, even if you don't go into developing your inner perception or anything like that, just knowing, because you see there is this awareness, a tiny drop of awareness, or in consciousness, or being aware of. Awareness is actually a better word in each one of us. No matter how far away we are from connection with the life, we have this little drop in ourselves that we sort of connect with from time to time, and we can drop into it just by going inwards, going into ourselves, going into the silence, dropping all the identifications that are just complete nonsense and are just ruining our existence in this physical realm that we perceive, And do you stay on my channel? You see on this channel, How to Life, I do share with you the knowledge and the skills of how to break free, how to break up of these false identifications, how to find your true identity, how to connect with the life itself, with what really is. And I also drop names of people who do the same thing, show you the way of going inwards and developing a dimension of true life that will completely liberate you, that will make everything existence, the experience of existence, a bliss, an absolute bliss. Some people have already done it, some people are living it, some people are going towards it like I am going towards it more and more and more, dropping more and more and more of my tiny little physical identifications. And each time I drop something, I'm more free. I'm more liberated. My experience of life grows better and better and better with each thing that I drop. Anybody can do it. You don't have to be a guru. You don't have to meditate. I never meditate, but I do enjoy my silence. I do drop into silence. And I do some other things that I will tell you some other time. And stay with me. Use the names that I drop, other channels, other videos. There's some programs that I mention. And, everything will open up. And it is not a belief, it is a knowing. Talk to you soon.